look for an entrance to the well.
Yeah, it's something like that. We'll see.
That
We'll see what we
and-
figure out.
That and see if you can figure out what this Lord of the Lake is. And
Yeah.
if it can be used.
I make you invisible, don't I?
Oh yeah, that's part of the plan, but
Mm-hmm.
not until we get there.
Yeah, once we get to the staging point.
And we can, on our way back, we can drop him off at. Well, I guess if he doesn't want to stay at the, go back to our ship.
He
Well,
pipes
if we-
up. He pipes up and says, "If you're going to rescue Eketh and the rest, I'm with you."
Alright.
Okay.
I don't think we're doing it right away. We
Oh no, I get that. He says.
We still need to plan out everything.
Yeah. So let's
I'm
go
gonna-
and take care of this then.
I'm gonna get us back to the river.
So where do you want the staging point to be? Like where Lafdul goes off and starts doing his thing, and Braxon goes off and does his thing.
I figured it was like here in the bend of the river before the actual lake.
Let's go
That's
suggest this one right here. But
That's
Okay.
that's a lot of lake I have to walk through. If we'd have followed that track and got to the other river, it would have been easier. But never mind.
The other river,
is
it
that,
would take a lot longer to go that way.
Okay, let's get back to our boat. And when we're on the river, Braxon will point out. Excuse me. Will point out to Kellor the direction of our ship. And he'll lean over to Kellor and say, "By the way, we're not here."
He looks at you oddly and says, "But you are."
We are here,
We-
but
Let's just
Wait.
say that the person that asked us to do this wanted it to stay
Yeah.
down low.
yeah,
Ah, I gotcha.
we've been told to keep this quiet. So our crew think we've stumbled onto you.
Fair enough.
We did.
Which we did.
Yep. Anyways, we're going back. We'll go to where I put us right now.
Okay. As you're getting close to the river initially,
So back here.
yeah, well, we're right here.
Okay.
You double check something. Hold on a second. Yeah. You see some large birds flying up in the sky up ahead. Hawks of some kind, but they basically ignore you.
How large are they? Are they like normal bird size, or are they like sort of big
hard
birds
to say.
that can
They
pick people up?
maybe they're not. Yeah, they're not that big. They're fairly normal sized. Maybe slightly larger hawks or some other sort of raptor.
Do they look like they're circling over an area of interest?
No.
So not like vultures or anything?
No.
Okay. That's what I was getting to ask, if they're looking at like a particular spot.
I got a random encounter for normal animals. What can I say?
So are they just gonna leave us alone?
Yeah, they're just birds. Unless you wanted to talk to them.
That's one of the reasons why I toss them out there. If you're not interested, you don't have to try and do anything with them, though.
Yeah, there's someone that could talk to the birds and say, "Could you go over there and have a look down in that hole and see who's in it?"
Well, we do have a ranger
Yeah.
I don't cast spells.
yet.
He's still rolling dice.
Yep.
We're all going to die.
Well, he's rolling dice for every hex.
All right, you get to... all right, you wanted to get here, though, I think.
Yeah, one more over.
Okay. So, it's still... It's about mid-morning, getting to late morning at this point.
We travel fast. Wow.
Mm.
Once you're on the boat, yeah. I mean...
Well, yeah, I was thinking it would take a lot longer to go up and down to that area still.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty easy moving. It's through the trees and everything like that where movement really gets slowed down. Yeah.
I slightly forgot the plan. Was Braxon going to be invisible underwater? Yes. I don't think he needs to be, does he? Oh, he was.
Yes, because part of your mission down there was to find out if you can, to find out what the Lord of the Lake is.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess I'll find out how deep the lake is.
Let me know when you want to be made invisible. Otherwise, if you want it to be earlier than getting into the lake, because it lasts for 24 hours, so don't worry.
Okay. Unless I fight something, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, no aggression.
Okay.
Remember, Braxon? No aggression.
Hey! If it was Higgimus, I'd be more worried.
No. It's Braxon that goes off, leaving his brain behind.
Well, Higgimus wouldn't be able to shoot off his gun underneath the water anyway, so you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah. All right, so you get to this point. You're gonna cast the invisibility spells on Braxon and then Lafdul, kind of thing, and then let them go off and do their things. Okay.
Before we get made invisible, Braxon shakes hands with Lafdul and says, "Good luck, sir."
Likewise.
I'll hold on to.
Do you need my magic rope today?
No, I was thinking about asking Yeldan if I could borrow your jumping ring. It's entirely up to him.
Because I was going to say, magic rope's probably not going to be too much use to me underwater. Might be. But I don't think I'll come out the well if I find it.
You could meet up with Lafdul.
I could do, but I think it would be a bit dangerous for me to come out. I'm not as sneaky as Lafdul is.
So you're going through the well?
As invisible.
Well, Braxon thought, as well as going in the lake, he would see if there was a way into the well.
Oh. Well, that'd be an interesting way to sneak in. One of us going through the well.
Exactly. If we can get into a well or a midden, we can get into the complex. I'd rather go in through a well than a midden.
What's a mid? Oh, is that like a drainage thing?
A latrine.
Latrine.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just be like, I'll give Lafdul my jumping ring. So Lafdul has the ring of jumping.
Lafdul, also, when you're in there, look for a place that might be the best place for a treant to knock down a wall.
Lafdul cocks his eye at that.
It's not likely to happen. I'd rather not use the truth, but that's another discussion.
All right, so who wants to go first, Lafdul or Braxon?
I don't mind. Oh, you mean in the bit we do?
Yeah.
Braxon can go first. I don't want to.
Oh, you don't want to? Okay.
No, I've got something going on, so I'm being a bit distracted.
All right. Let me just have a quick cough then. All right, I have coughed.
You have coughed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you are you leaving your armor on, or are you taking your armor off?
Armor would weigh me down nicely, but might get damaged.
Oh, what type of armor
what did I
is
have
it?
again?
Should have it written down.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Hang on.
I believe you have splint armor.
Splint.
Yeah, I really wouldn't go in armor. You're not planning on fighting anything anyway. You're invisible.
I thought that some armor might be useful for holding me down under the water.
You got a backpack.
You got your backpack.
Wow.
It's full of stuff. Or you could put the armor in the backpack.
So splint is strips of metal, is it?
Yeah.
I wonder if the chainmail would be better for holding me down.
I'm not really going to be concerned about holding you down.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's going to slow your action down.
All right. Yeah.
Armor.
Yeah. You're true. You're true. All right. Okay. So Braxon will take off his armor then,
Okay.
and
Alright.
hope he doesn't die.
And you leave it with
I would
Higgimus?
suggest you. I suggest. Well, he has his own pack.
Anything you don't need to take with you, don't take it.
Yeah. What Braxon will take.
basics.
What Braxon will take with him in his pack is his lantern, in case he manages to get into tunnels under the complex, and his magic rope.
Oh, yeah, you can see the dark.
Will that work?
This is your
I mean,
continual light lantern, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna need it under the water, so there's Yeldan. It gets dark deep underwater.
Yeah, but seeing a light walk through the lake is not exactly. Well,
He's invisible.
he may
It'll
as well
just be
do
a-
away with invisibility because he won't be invisible anymore.
I think it's one I can use for signaling, and open and shut a shutter. So that means Braxon could open it a little slit. I don't know if you saw any of the real world stuff during World War II, but they used to have little slits on car headlights. It's still going to make light, obviously.
The thing is the lantern itself is going to be invisible, so they won't know the source of the light.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If you see a light bulb that's lit
Well, unless you've got
in the lake and it's moving, then you can probably assume that there's a human being with it holding it.
Or there's
You
some
have to have
sort
a
of
good
spirit
intelligence
that
to
is
realize
glowing
that.
under the
Or it's
water.
a monster in the lake.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's
there's a
there's a
an
lot of
angelfish.
superstitious things that could actually be true in this.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
right. Anyway, unless you've got a
then-
spell that allows me to see underwater in the dark, I'm-
Braxton, how are you gonna let us know that there is a Lord of the Lake if there is one?
I'll come back and say hello to you.
You think you are the one?
And also, if he doesn't come back, that's a pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
indicator that there's a Lord of the Lake.
Okay.
Because it ate him.
So, Braxton, if you're not back by tomorrow at the same time, then we assume that you got eaten.
Yeah, if I get eaten, I guess I'll stop being invisible because I'll be fighting the thing trying to eat me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. If he gets eaten, does the digestion come out invisible? Shall we say?
No, I think right then.
We don't want to. Yeah,
I think by
All right,
then the
so
boundary
Braxon,
is up.
you get the invisibility spell cast on yourself, and
Yeah.
leave your armor and most of your items behind. And,
Yeah.
wait
I like
out,
how all just stops the
Yeah, I
conversation.
know it's
Yep.
not.
and you wade out into the river. It's fairly easy going, and once you're underwater, you actually find it pretty easy to move about.
Okay, sounds cool. So I take it from Brax's point of view. This lake is going to be like going into a quarry.
Sort of. I mean, there is.
There'd be like a
definitely-
slope down, and the
Oh.
sides would be higher.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like that. Yeah, I guess.
But then again, it is at the top, isn't it, as well? So there must be lips where the rivers come in.
But it's
Okay.
a fairly
At least
easy
they don't-
easy walk. You don't find any like cliffs, underwater cliffs kind of thing.
Okay, sounds cool.
Mostly gentle slopes so far. Now I'm gonna ask everyone else to put themselves on mute.
Oh, mute.
Yeah.
Death and myself, so we.
Shall I move the little man to show where I'm going?
Actually, I will pull out one for you. Here we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, hey,
And let me make
it's
sure
a little
that you
miniature
can-
Braxon.
Let me make sure that you can move it. There you go. Okay.
I might be using the wrong tool. Hang on.
You can just be on the select move,
Select move.
the first thing.
Oh yeah, I see it. Okay. So,
So
I guess Brax.
the riverbed is you guys can listen. Oh, let me
They might have turned they've turned their headphones off.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. I was a little bit. I guess I should have been a little bit clearer. So you guys can listen. That's fine. I just don't want you guys jumping in, telling him what to do when he's certainly all alone and in a potentially dangerous situation that can get him killed. So once you
want me to die quietly?
Of course. So you
Okay, so I'm searching this hex that I'm in.
Yeah, you wade down into the lake, and
is Braxton's visibility 1 hex, or is it going to be like a while to search each hex?
Surprisingly, once you're deep underwater, a bit something that you didn't know about this helmet. 2 panes of glass slide over and across your eyes, and you're able to see surprisingly well under the water.
Wow, very nice. I think I remember seeing those panes of glass, but couldn't get them to work before.
That just happened automatically.
Yeah.
So you're at the entrance to the lake now, essentially. And
okay.
It does slope down deeper. You would guess that at the deepest point that you can see in the lake, you could see basically a full hex.
Yeah.
To a degree. Although there is a lot of seaweed and stuff like that here as well.
Yeah, so Braxton's got to be careful not to get his legs caught up in seaweed or any creatures that look like seaweed that might eat people.
And there's a lot of fish. There's a lot of fish.
Wow, it's amazing seeing fish going over your head.
Yeah. So you're basically at the entrance to the lake, and at the deepest point, it looks like the lake is pretty deep. I mean, it's kind of being in a place that you've never been before, and a situation that you've never been in. It's kind of hard to say, but you'd guess that 30, 40 feet at least.
Right. Okay. Braxton's going to move in. Does Braxton need to do these sort of scrabbly part hexes to see if there's things in them?
I mean, if you want to go over and actually search along the shore kind of thing, yeah, kind of, you would need to move down there.
Okay.
Well,
he's not in the hex. He's just on the shore.
You don't need to be there. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean,
what I mean is he's looking at.
To a certain extent, you kind of tell me what you want to be looking for.
Okay, so he's going to look at the edges of the submerged valley that he's in, because if there is some sort of lord of the lake, it might be living in an underwater cave on the edges, or it might be living in the bottom.
Okay, so you're going to be paying a lot of attention to the shoreline, so to speak, the edges.
Yeah, as well as the bottom.
Okay.
He'll be looking in front of him in case there's any sort of creatures that try to conceal themselves as plants.
Okay.
But he's not an expert in it, so
right.
he probably wouldn't know what he was looking for anyway.
So the northern shoreline of this lake that you can see so far, just to the north of you kind of thing, it's very gently sloped. But the southern side, it does look like there is a sharp, not quite cliff, but a pretty sharp drop-off, maybe about 30 feet from the actual shore itself.
Right.
So if you were on the shore, you would go into the water about 30 feet, and then there would be a bit of a drop going down a considerable amount.
Yeah, so there's some sort of cliff.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. Does it look like there's any entrances in the cliff?
You'll definitely have to get close to that and look.
All right, Braxton will go towards the cliff to see if there's any sort of caves. He's not going to try and climb up the cliff.
Okay, and the seaweed is pretty thick at the base of this cliff, so you're kind of like pushing it aside as you move through it, and You do hear the sound of something large swimming nearby.
Okay, Braxton's going to turn around and look for it.
Okay, you're just gonna kind of stay where you are and turn around and look.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see a humanoid creature of some sort swimming more closer to the middle of the lake. It's splashing. I mean, it's not splashing, but it's moving pretty powerfully. It's not like the ones that you saw earlier. It looks like it's a bit smaller than those. And it appears to be trying to net some fish.
Right. Well, that doesn't look hostile, so I'll leave them to it and stay out their way.
Okay. Are you doing anything other than that, or are you just kind of like pushing through the?
Yeah, just he's just looking for any sort of hiding places where this Lord of the Deep could be.
Okay.
But if there's a person there hunting fish, there might be some sort of underwater town. So, okay, Braxton's going to push along the edge of this cliff to this next hex.
Okay. Before you get there, you do see a large opening that was pretty well hidden. So back in the previous hex, you can stay there.
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's okay. You do find what appears to be a cave of some sort. It's pretty well hidden from, with all the seaweed. The seaweed that goes up above your head. It's over 10 feet in, height kind of thing.
Right.
And also there's a bit of an overhang that, from further away, really disguised the cave. When you're close to it, you can see that it's a pretty wide cave.
Is there anything around the cave like bones that would suggest there's a monster eating things?
Outside here, no.
Yeah.
No, you're not seeing any bones
Okay.
outside.
How far inside can Braxton see into the cave before it gets too dark?
Not very far. But that could also be a circumstance, kind of like when you're outside looking into a cave. In general, you can't see very far in.
Okay, well, Braxton will move in a little bit to see whether he can see inside without needing to take his lantern out.
Okay. You want to just kind of get into the entrance and then let your eyes adjust, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You can. Once your eyes adjust to the cave, you can see probably about 30 feet in. It's still pretty wide, maybe about 10 feet tall overall, and it appears to be sloping downward.
Okay.
And then kind of curving to the right.
Braxton's going to walk in, but be aware in case there's a steep drop off, so he'll be very careful to take one pace at a time and be ready to jump backwards.
Okay. How far do you want to go in?
Until it starts getting dark.
Okay. All right. You move in slowly, and as you do, you think you hear kind of a rumbling sound. So you get to where it starts curving to the right. And
Okay, Braxton's going to freeze if there's rumbling and try and work out where the rumbling's coming from.
Okay. It's definitely coming from further in, and it's fairly rhythmic.
Can Braxton put his helmet to the wall and see if he can hear better?
You try that, but it doesn't really help.
All right. So he's going to cautiously move towards the corner.
All right. And kind of peek around it.
Yeah, peek around, even though he's invisible.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite trust that he's invisible.
It's fairly gentle, the curve, so there really isn't a corner per se, but it does continue to go down. But you notice that after about another 40 feet of it going down, and it kind of straightens out, and it seems to go up again beyond that.
Okay. So Braxton's going to go up towards the crest and crouch down lower and try and look over the top of the crest.
Okay. You move down into the trough and then start coming up, and as you do so, the rumbling, the rhythmic rumbling sound is definitely getting louder. And you can see now that the crest of it is actually above a surface of water. So it looks like there is an open-air cave here.
Right. No, that's somewhere to be careful because coming up above the water will make ripples. All right, Braxton's going to try and stay under the water and see if he can look above the water.
It's pretty dark, and you realize that the helmet seems to help you with seeing through water when light isn't great, but it doesn't seem to help with seeing through air when light isn't great.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case,
there is still, I mean, there's a little bit of light coming through, even though, you know, the nature of the cave does block most of the outside light out. There is a bit coming through. You can see kind of like the reflection of the surface of the water on the ceiling kind of thing.
Yeah. In that case, Braxton will try to very gently break the water and see if he can hear what this rhythmic noise is.
Okay. Upon doing so, you realize that it is definitely reminds you of snoring.
Snoring?
Yeah. Breaking the surface.
So it could be a large creature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A large creature that could eat Braxton.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so and it's dark. And if it wakes up, it could be angry. How far is left in the water before Braxton will be coming out the water?
It's a pretty gentle slope, so you've basically stuck your head out when there's, you're from the neck down is still underwater. I mean, you could certainly get up closer and crouch down if you wanted to just keep your head above water, but
yeah,
you've got about 15 feet before it completely is out of water.
Yeah, and it's quite dark in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's lantern time. I think it's lantern and runaway time.
Okay.
Does it sound like?
Go ahead.
Does it sound like the thing is in front of me?
It's hard to say, because now that you're here and your head is above water, the sound is clearly echoing off the walls of this chamber.
Okay, so Braxton will try to take his lantern out under the water and open it a crack under the water.
Okay.
To try to make some very diffuse light that hopefully doesn't come from anywhere specific.
Okay. It's a bit difficult since you can't actually see your lantern, but you're doing it entirely underwater and very slowly. And you open it just a tiny crack, and it lets you're doing it like as slowly, as microscopically as you can, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And slowly.
The aim is to try to make. Yeah. The aim is to try to make the water glow a bit,
and get just enough light in the cave to get kind of shapes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that, and trying to be very, very slow and careful about it, and not make much noise. And slowly the light kind of spreads out, and you're seeing this cave. It's quite large, and you can see a lot of stalagmites and stalactites about the cave. It looks like there are more pools of water elsewhere in the cave. So, like the crest kind of goes up and then goes down to a little trough. Whether it goes down into another tunnel like what you've got, what you came out of, you're not entirely sure. But there is definitely, more water than just what you're standing in here in the cave. You also see some glints of metal, golden, silvery kind of thing in various parts of the cave. Just, like little, glittering reflected light.
Like the stories of like the stories of dragon treasure.
Kind of. Although you may have expected more of that than what you're really seeing, but that could also be a trick of the light right now. And there is also a very large round shape about 100 feet away from you in this cave. Now that you're getting some light, it's a pretty large cave. And there's a very large rounded shape about 100 feet away that is very slowly rising and falling.
Oh, so that's the thing that's snoring.
That's what it appears to be.
How big does it look?
Rough guess, it's hard to say, but at least 30 feet long.
At least 30 feet. Wow, very nice. Braxon would love to go and have a chat with this thing, but it might eat him. if it's not a sort of friendly, intelligent thing. Okay, I think that means Braxon's found the Lord of the Lake, so he's going to very slowly close his lantern and go back to looking around the lake.
Okay. And just slowly walk out, kind of thing.
Yeah, very slowly walk out. Try not to make a big kaplunk noise as he goes back down under the surface.
Okay.
And it's still listen for the snoring too. If the snoring stops, he's going to speed up, or freeze.
As you close the lantern, you do make a bit of an extra splash.
Uh-oh.
And the rhythm of the snoring seems to change. Kind of like you think there was a snort type thing in that snoring.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep backing out, trying to get out there.
Yeah, keep backing out slowly.
Okay. Okay. Are you? How quickly are you doing this? Or like, what are you doing? Are you?
Well, Braxon's listening for the breathing, and if it seemed to change radically, he might speed up. But at the moment, he's trying to get under the water and get back towards the entrance.
Okay. Once you're fully submerged, are you going to try to swim, or are you going to just walk slowly, run as well as you can underwater, kind of thing? What are you going to do?
I'm wondering what would be quickest. I think walking, because I don't think Braxton's used to swimming on the bottom of water.
Right. And you probably don't have a swimming proficiency, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably not.
Okay.
No.
You are making your way out. The rhythm has definitely changed. It hasn't stopped, but there do appear to be breaks in it.
Is it still getting quieter, or is it getting louder?
Well, as you're leaving, I mean, it's getting quieter because you're moving away from it.
Yeah.
But you can't tell whether it's also getting quieter because the thing is waking up or something like that.
Right.
That's what you're asking.
Okay.
All right, so you managed to get out,
Uh-huh.
and by the time you get to the entrance, you can't hear the rumbling anymore at all.
Okay, cool. So Braxon will try and carry on along the edge of the cliff.
Okay, you're gonna stay along the southern.
Yeah, along the southern end.
Okay. By about this point, it kind of smooths out, so there really isn't a cliff anymore.
Right.
But on the far side, on the north side, now there appears to be more of a cliff-type structure there.
Okay. All right. I don't know whether I want Braxton to go around the edge and then come back and look at that afterwards. Let's carry on the south side and just do a full circuit.
Okay. All right.
So he'll be on the edge in this bit.
Yeah. So here again, it's still pretty smooth. You don't see that humanoid creature that was swimming around trying to catch some fish anymore.
Yeah.
You didn't see it when you came out. Maybe it caught
So
fish
that-
and went back.
Yeah, but that humanoid creature could be in the cave-like thing on the other side, unless that goes into the complex.
I didn't say there was a cave-like thing. I said there was more of a cliff.
Oh, a cliff. Sorry.
It's okay.
He might be living in a tent on the cliff. All right, so I'll move on to the next square. So Braxton knows he's getting opposite the sort of camp now.
Yeah.
So he's going to be careful.
Yeah, you can actually see the makeshift dock up off the shore, and
Right.
it is there really isn't a whole lot of shore on that side now, so you can see why it makes sense that they would have built the dock there, kind of thing. Now that you're seeing this up close, because they're able to get. There's a lot more depth there for an ocean-going vessel to land and get closer to the shore than maybe on the other side.
Yeah. Whereas if it landed on the other side, it would be beached.
Or they'd have to build a much larger dock out. The dock is definitely a floating dock, so there are no pillars down into the bed of the lake.
Interesting. Okay, so Braxton will head up to the little bit here where the lake flows out into the river, but he's going to be careful not to get washed out.
Okay. It's fairly gentle flow at this point, so it's not something that you need to worry about. But you do feel the water going out into the river, the current.
Yeah. All right, so Braxton's going to get past the river and get closer to the shore where the hostile people are.
Okay. Again, it's fairly cliff-like, fairly close to shore. You want to basically do what you did before and search the seaweed? Okay.
Yeah, because what Braxton's looking for is an entrance into a well inside or a midden or anything like that.
Okay. Over on this cliff face, there are actually a surprising number of small caves. Much smaller than the one that you saw on the southern side, but they're large enough to allow a humanoid or maybe something a bit smaller to swim through, but not necessarily walk through. Like, you could do it if you climbed or crawled, but you wouldn't be able to walk through some of these.
Right, but Braxton's got to be careful not to get stuck.
Right, well, I'm just saying, you haven't actually gone into any of them yet.
Yeah. How many did you say there were?
You're seeing probably about one every 100 to 150 feet.
Do they look man-made or natural?
Give me an intelligence check.
GM roll or an open roll?
Open roll is fine. No one else can do anything here, so.
Right.
It's probably not above your intelligence.
No, I've got intelligence of 14,
Okay.
and that's a 15.
You can't really tell. They're pretty rough hewn. You're not seeing any obvious.
Okay,
Tool
Braxton's
marks?
going to try. Braxton's going to try getting into the first one.
Okay, just
But
the very
if
first
he-
one that you came
if-
across.
Yeah, if there's any risk that he's going to get stuck, he'll back out.
Okay, this one is not in the cliff face towards the stockade, by the way.
Right. What is that, going north rather than south?
It's more going west-ish, maybe a little bit northwest.
Right. Okay, well, Braxton's still going to have a look because he's figuring. Is there any sort of current going into this?
It seems pretty still from what you can feel right now. Maybe a gentle current going in, but not much.
Yeah. Okay, well, Braxton's going to go in a little bit to see whether he can see anything. Although if it's quite tight, he might not be able to get his head pointing forwards.
It's not terribly tight, this one. You're able to move through it fairly easily, just by pulling yourself along. There's enough space that, I mean, you don't know swimming, but you can kind of picture the movements in your head. You could definitely kick behind you without hitting the sides or the ceiling or the floor.
Yeah.
It goes. You start just like going down it, and you can feel that it's not straight. You can feel it curving, but you pretty quickly lose track of how it's going and where it's going.
Right. But it's not branching, so
Doesn't seem like it at this point.
Braxton could just go backwards and get out.
Yeah.
All right, he'll keep going on for a bit longer.
Okay.
But he's going to keep an eye out for the current getting faster or the thing seeming to drop forward so it goes downhill rapidly.
You keep going, and you're kind of losing track of time and distance at this point. But it's definitely you definitely think it's sloping down because you are going forward and you keep finding yourself having to pull yourself downward a bit.
Right. And Braxton doesn't know how long he's been going forward, but he hasn't got anywhere interesting. Okay, he's going to back out.
Okay. All right. Throughout all of this, there have been small fish swimming by you, both to and fro,
Mm-hmm.
coming towards you and going away from you and stuff like that. But so far, nothing of particular interest. There's been some small bits of seaweed type stuff, but it's obvious that they don't seem to need sunlight to grow, so you're not really sure whether they're seaweed or not, but they haven't been offensive in any way as you brush past them.
Yeah.
But after a while, you get back out into the regular lake.
Okay. All right, Braxton's going to have a look in the next one, see if it looks like it does the same thing.
It seems very, very similar.
All right, so he's going to have a quick look without going into them all at all of them, see if there's one that looks like it goes under the camp.
Okay. On the fourth one that you come to, you feel a very strong flow of water out.
Right.
And this one, you would guess, you're not sure if it goes under the camp or not, but it definitely is going in a more southerly direction.
And if Braxton goes into that one, it might be a bit hard to come out.
Well, it's an outflow, so it would be harder to go in than get out. It would push you.
Oh,
out.
it's an outflow.
Yeah, it's an outflow. Sorry.
Ah. Oh, Braxton's definitely going to be interested in that. That's what's filling up this lake. All right, so Braxton's going to push his way into that to see if he can see anything interesting.
Okay. just a second. All right.
This is where I go to the elemental plane of water.
I need you to give me a strength check. You start pushing your way in, and I need you to give me a strength check to. Okay.
Oh.
Nope. You need to get under. So that's.
I need to get under.
Yeah. You're finding it tough going, but there's enough handholds here to pull you along. Now, unlike the other ones, you're not seeing any plant life or fish or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it does feel, even though there are some handholds, they're not as common as in the other ones that you were in, and this one definitely seems smoother than the others. But to you, that
more like a pipe.
Yeah, but also, just a constant flow of water could do that, you think?
Oh, yeah. The water would wear down the walls.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of indication of light, or does it go up or anything?
You think it's definitely going down.
Down. All right, well, Braxon will carry on going down for a bit.
Okay, give me another
Till he
strength check.
Till he starts getting tired.
All right, you're definitely getting tired now, and it's harder to go.
All right,
and it's
I don't think he's seen anything else interesting.
No.
Okay, Braxton's gonna let himself go and gently get pushed back into the lake.
Okay. All right, that is a fairly easy process. You do get some scrapes and bumps and stuff as it pushes you out, but you try to do it as carefully as possible.
Yeah.
All right, so back outside, you see some more of the same humanoids that you saw before hunting fish, but they're not close to you.
Yeah.
There's a couple more.
Does it look like Braxton can tell where they're coming from?
They seem to be hunting, so rather than moving from one place to another, so not really.
Yeah. Okay, are there any more of these holes here that look like they might go in the direction of the camp?
There's at least 4 more that you can see right now.
Okay, well, Braxton wants to check those out.
Okay. All right, do you want to kind of like check them all out? Sort of, like go in a bit, feel when you think you've gone too far, and then come out if you're not seeing anything interesting?
Yeah.
You do go down on the third one, and after some distance, you're not sure what, you do notice that there is light coming from above, and on this tunnel. When you get to it, you actually realize that you've come to a larger area, and there is a round shaft above you.
Okay, sounds like Braxton's discovered the well. All right, so he's going to see if he can get into the well and see if there's any bars or anything that would stop you getting into the camp that way.
You swim up to the surface of the water, and you would guess that it's pretty high up there before you get to the lip of the well itself, and there isn't a bucket down in the water right now. You think you can see a bucket up there, though.
If only Braxton had a rod that turned into a ladder. He's not going to go up the well, but he thinks he's found the well. So that's what he was looking for. He's going to turn around and go... Sorry, I just read just read Lafdul's comment. He's going to turn around and go out, assuming a bucket doesn't land on his head.
No. You're just in there for a moment.
Yeah.
But you definitely notice that there were tool marks on this shaft.
Okay, so next thing Braxton wants to check out is the jetty.
Okay. you would probably think to yourself that it would be wise to leave some sort of mark at this cave so you know which one it is.
Oh yeah. Braxon will do that.
What kind of things do you want to leave?
Can he chip a mark with his dwarven dagger?
It's... You're not sure that would be as obvious. I mean, there's quite a bit of mud around. It might get kicked up, stirred up, or something like that, and
Yeah.
disguised.
What sort of... There's plants around these holes, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of seaweed.
So he could maybe either cut all the seaweed away, or do something like tie a knot in the seaweed.
All right, so you tie a knot in the seaweed.
Yeah, tie several knots in the seaweed in front of this hole.
Okay. You take a few moments to do that. While you're doing this, you see one of the humanoids, and it looks like they're swimming towards the river, the northern river.
The northern river. Okay. It doesn't look like they're swimming towards Braxon.
No.
Okay, so Braxon will stay out their way. Keep an eye out for them in case there's other ones going in different directions. That one might be trying to distract him while someone comes over and looks.
Okay. I mean, you go pretty quick with the knots and just a couple of them. So just
okay then.
You think you know which one this one
Right. Well, the next thing Braxon wants to find out is if it's possible to sabotage the floating jetty. He doesn't want to do it. He just wants to see if it's possible to do it.
All right. So since you don't have the swimming proficiency, it might be a little bit difficult to actually get there. Go ahead.
Oh, because it's a cliff, isn't there?
Yeah. Do you want to try climbing up it?
Well, I did say Braxton was taking his rope.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't work underwater, does it? I think you said it doesn't work underwater. Well, give it a go.
All right. So what are you going to try to have it do?
Attached to... I can't give the command words. Oh, he can. He's got a helmet on. He's going to tell the rope to attach to part of the jetty that's under the water. If you can see something.
All right. Unfortunately, the rope is just limp.
Right. Okay. Braxton will put the rope away if he can.
Yeah, that's fine.
He'll if there's any way to get any closer.
Well, like I said, you can try climbing up the cliff side.
Yeah, I guess he'll try and climb up the cliffside a bit.
Okay.
I guess if he falls, he just has to not land too hard.
Being in water makes it a little bit easier. You're able to push yourself through the water as much as pulling yourself up with the on the cliff, and you're finding that you're not having to, feel like you're moving as much of your own weight because of the water helping you with that. So you are able to get up the cliff face and get underneath the dock. What kind of things are you looking to sabotage?
Well, like I said, Braxton's not going to sabotage it now.
Right.
He's thinking if we try to do it as a diversion, whether it would be possible to set a fire underneath the dock or cut it loose from the edge so that it floats into the lake.
Yeah, I mean, you think you could do that. You're not sure that you could set something up so that it happened. You think that you would probably have to have someone there doing it.
Yeah.
you could certainly try to... so it's resting on what appears to be small boat bottoms kind of thing.
Right.
At various intervals, and then with planks overlaid them. And they're pretty sturdy, but you could probably try and bore holes in them and let them fill up with water, which would not be very fast. But you could definitely cut cut through some of the boards and release it into the middle of the lake.
Yeah, I'm thinking that making it sink would be less likely to make them want to come out and repair it than making it float away. So Braxon will be looking to see if it's possible to cut between the boat parts of the pontoons.
You mean cut into the boat pontoons to let them go with water?
not cut the boats. No. If the boats sink, then that makes the thing sink. But if it floats away from the shore,
you want them to come out and try and repair it.
Yeah, and go, oh, the dock's floating away. But he's not going to do that now. He's going to say this is something we could set up.
Okay.
Because then when some of them come out and get on the dock to try and start pulling it back in the shore, there's less of them in the base.
Yeah, I mean you could definitely cut it free at some point.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Well, if Braxton's worked that out, then he's gonna gently go back down the cliff and try not to hit the cliff on the way down.
Okay.
So maybe a swim out towards the middle.
Yeah. And just let himself sink kind of thing.
Yeah, let himself sink, but try not to sink too fast.
Right. Okay. All right, you're back down on the lake bed now.
Okay, so now he wants to come and investigate this cliff here, but he's wondering whether those hunters live there. So he's going to be quite cautious.
You're definitely seeing more of the small caves. They seem to this section of the cliff just seems kind of riddled with them. You're not currently seeing anyone come in or out.
Right. I think Braxton's going to go past them now.
Okay.
And just try to get back where he was. But he'll make a note that they're there.
All right.
All right. So back to this square or hex.
Yeah, so at this point, the cliff kind of evens out, and it's more of just a gentle slope from the shore down into the lake.
Okay. Well, then he's going to head back towards the boat.
Back to towards the party, you mean?
Yeah, back towards the party.
Okay. So you can basically leave the water and describe to everyone what you've seen. Whether Lafdul is there or not is going to depend on what he does, because he's off doing his thing while you're doing this, and I will need to figure out how much time that actually took.
Yeah. So do you want to do Lafdul's bit and then decide whether Braxton's saying stuff to him or to others?
Well, I mean, either you're telling everyone else or you're telling him because he got back in time. But I'll need to figure out.
Okay. Well, then Braxton tells everyone the 3 sites of interest. Then.
Yeah. But it is about time to take our break, so we'll go ahead and do that. When we come back, we'll handle Lafdul's little excursion. So that'll be about 10 minutes, give or take. So about 12 past, 15 past, something like that. All right, so we'll be back then, and take this opportunity to get a drink or something.